Hello, welcome to the Ultimate Sports Show, the NBA Play-In Tournament post-game show, presented by us truly here. Manny Medina, guys. Wow. Obviously, just finishing up the Lakers Timberwolves game, but guys, wow, what a turn of events. Like, I mean, these games literally today were exactly what we expected. I mean, literally. What a performance! Obviously, like we got to obviously we're starting with the early game. Hawks and the Heat, man. Like I'm saying right now, like I wasn't the only one that had call on the Hawks to outperform the Miami Heat. And guess what happened? I said anything can happen. Yes, it was Manny. We were talking about this. We said, look, could be a bloodbath kind of a game. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we did mention Trae Young and how good he can be, and I mean, man, he literally just said, I got you all. I'm going to take over, and it's time to win this game.
Well, the thing is with Trae Young, because obviously, like you said, me and you, we picked the Hawks to win that game, but the thing is, Trae Young was just such a great presence in that game. He didn't even have to have a good shooting night. That's just even the crazy part. He was 1 for 8 from the 3-point line, and he still had a great game because he had 25 points and 8 rebounds and 7 assists. And he shot 50% from the field. It's insane how a great night he had. But actually, he's not the only guy I got to talk about when it comes to the Hawks. There's actually a guy I need to talk about that actually goes for my favorite college team, Villanova, Saddiq Bey. He actually had an amazing game off the bench. He had 17 points, and he shot 3 for 9 from the 3, and he had 6 rebounds. This is a small forward / power forward doing all this, which is absolutely incredible. But obviously, if I'm going to tell you guys the truth, Miami, they didn't have a bad game, honestly. Like, I got to shout out the Miami Heat. Even though we picked the Hawks, me and Aaron, the Miami Heat played really well. And of course, if you guys didn't know already, I do live in Canada, so we have mad love for Kyle Lowry and what he's done for the Toronto Raptors. And he had an amazing game for them. Mind you, he was on the bench, and he still had a 33-point game, shooting 6 for 9 from the 3, and he dished out 5 dimes, which was really nice. And even Jimmy Butler had a great game as well. He had 9 assists. Jimmy Butler is not really known for passing the ball, but he actually dished out the dimes tonight, which is absolutely incredible. But shout out to the Atlanta Hawks. They're going to face off against the Boston Celtics. And I can't wait to see Trae Young and Jason Tatum in that series. That's going to be a really fun series to watch.
Oh, that's exactly going to be exciting. And you know what? Look, anything can happen. Anything can happen in these games. I mean, look, just the way the aspect of everything that came out for Miami today and how they started. Obviously, I'm not surprised. Like, I'm really not surprised. How the game turned out, what happened, and you know what? Like, that's the cool thing about this. Like, okay, like we were talking about this, like even when we were going over the play-in stuff and saying, like, look, what do you guys honestly think of the whole play-in tournament? Like, do we think it's a great idea? Look, I think the best part about it is you have to treat it like a win or go home. You have to treat it like a Game 7, but realistically, you get one more chance. And that's something you're not going to get in a typical game like that. But, I mean, obviously, shout out to the Heat. I expect the Heat to somehow, get in there somehow, because it's just, the nature of that team. I can't imagine Jimmy Buckets not in there after to get in a spot somehow. But definitely, what a great game. Obviously, looking forward to that as well. So that's going to be exciting. But I got to turn to the next game. Medina, this one was all yours. Medina, wow, we just finished this game. Lakers winning against the Timberwolves. Oh my God. Also shout out to Jay in here. Shout out to Big Baby Sports. Shout out to Erod. I mean, thank you guys for coming by. Appreciate the love. We are
Jay
back and
Erod,
rolling.
good Twitter friends of mine.
Oh yeah, the best. Obviously Medina, Lakers getting this game. I mean, like, I guess there's a level of ugliness that you could put in down to in a game, and like one of those games that you're just lucky you get by and somehow you win the game. You know, when you have what 21 turnovers, 21 turnovers in a game, and you still win the game, and then one of your top dogs of the whole team fouls the worst spot that he can possibly foul somebody at the end of a game. I mean, guys, I think this Laker Timberwolves game was something right here. I mean, I said it. I did say this yesterday. I did tell you, and I did tell Manny even before we started. I said, look, do not count out the Timberwolves. Like, don't count them out. They're just because they're shorthanded, that doesn't mean anything. And obviously, they played their butts off today. But I meant the score speak for itself. But hey, I mean, shout out to the Lakers, man. They still got it done, and obviously, they take that 7 spot.
Whew, okay, so that was one heck of a game. I think all of us Laker fans can say that our anxiety is up to here tonight. Our hearts are pumping and racing. Whew, shout out to my little fan in here, Jay Woods. Thank you, appreciate it. But yeah, anyways, man, that Laker game, that was something. I just like to point out that literally most of my predictions that I made about the West game tonight came true. The Lakers, man, they just love to keep us on our toes. That whole game was so stressful. I mean, up until the last quarter, I mean, I think we all thought, like, okay, we're probably not going to make it this game. We're probably going to have to play that last play-in game and pray to God that we make it. But man, did they turn over that game? Thank God. I mean, that first half, very sloppy, very messy. I felt like there was like no defense whatsoever. And this is something that we talked about on the show earlier, that, the way the T-Wolves were not going to just, say, okay, we have our main 2 guys out. We can't play tonight. Like, they came out and they showed up and they went off on us as expected. If we thought this was going to be an easy win, we were delusional, because knowing the Lakers, it's not going to be a blowout game. We were going to have to work for it, and we did. And something else that I had mentioned on the pregame is that we were probably going to be down in the first half by 10 points. Unfortunately, we carried that what was I going to say? Unfortunately, we were down for mostly every quarter up until the last quarter. That's when I feel like we started showing up. Everyone just started going off. Like I said, AD went off. LeBron was going to go off. Schroeder went off. Reeves, even, like, they all played fabulous tonight. I mean, they could have played better. We could have had less turnovers. But something else I want to mention about the Lakers is that we were making most of our free throw shots tonight. Like, oh my God, that was beautiful. That's something else that helped us win the game today. Shout out to the T-Wolves though, because they played one heck of a game. They came out tonight and they played their hearts out. There are just moments that no matter how great of defense that we played on them, they just kept getting the ball in, and there was just no stopping them. And they put on a good show tonight, and they really made us work for it. And the Lakers, man, like you said, Aaron, it was just a sloppy game. I didn't think we'd actually make it up until that Schroeder 3-pointer. Man, he brought us back to life with that shot. Unfortunately, with the last second foul by my man's AD, I love you, dude. I love you, but you gotta stop doing that last second, because this happened like a few weeks ago against the Mavs, and you costed us the game, and you almost costed us the game tonight too. But thankfully, we showed up in the overtime and we won. And I'm just happy. And I'm sure all the Laker fans are happy. But to read off some stats here real quick, I did predict that AD was going to be the top man of the show, saying that he was gonna go off tonight. I mean, he still went off, but he only had 24 points. LeBron James was the man of the night, scoring 30 points. Shout out to Dennis Schroeder, 21 points with that amazing 3-pointer at the end. I really feel like without Schroeder tonight, we would have lost this game. So big shout out to Dennis the Menace, as Manny likes to call him too. And yeah, As for T Wolves, Cat had 24 points. Conley had 23 points. They showed up tonight too with just two of their main guys and their bench players. They all played fantastic basketball, and that was one of the best and worst games I've ever seen. But it was definitely a show tonight, and I'm happy with the outcome.
It was stressful
Yeah.
as hell, but I'm just happy we won.
You
Cause
know what? Yeah. I was gonna say, Manny, I think you could take this one. I was just gonna even mention this too. Obviously, I mean, you both can. Well, you both can even say something, but like, with the like, I guess with the Lakers aspect here is they really got really you leaned on. They really leaned on Braun and Davis tonight. Um, they really leaned on those guys. I mean, obviously Davis scoring 24 and Braun scoring 30, but I mean, what happened to D'Lo's right? I mean, look, everybody has their off games. I mean, look, the late great Kobe Bryant had a terrible game in his game, the Game 7 in 2010, where he couldn't shoot for the life of him. Obviously, it happens. You're gonna miss the rim. It's not even gonna touch. It's not even gonna get air. But I mean, it's like, what are you gonna do? You got to keep going. You got to keep trying to shoot. You know what they said? Shoot or shoot. Period. And it just wasn't falling. How'd you guys think? Did you think the right thing? I mean, obviously, they ended up, Ham obviously ended up looking at the rotations, went a little bit smaller, went a little bit more tighter with the same three guys. Did you guys think it was fair to just ultimately just pull out Russell at all, or do you think they should at least let him get at least another opportunity? Because, you could have the terrible first half. I mean, you could have a terrible first half like him, who officially scored, 2 points, a point, yeah, 2 points in the game, and not make much of a difference, but come out in the second half and say, and sit here and say, great, I'm gonna get 15 points in the second half. That's a huge piece for the Lakers. If the Lakers want to keep advancing and moving on, you have to have those guys. You have to have their core guys, especially who they just got in the trade deadline. You kind of have to let them get active. You have to let them keep scoring. You have to let them keep trying. Obviously, we're gonna have a show later on that'll talk a little bit more in depth about the play, about setting things up more for them in the Western for the playoff previews. But I mean, ultimately, would you guys think, both of you guys, do you think Russell deserved to just get benched the rest of the game? Or would you have said, you know what, let me see what he still got. Let me see if he can get out of this funk. Or did you just say, like Darvin Ham just said, screw it, I'm just going to stick with these guys tonight?
well, basically, what I have to say about D'Lo,
Yeah,
he
go
had a
ahead.
very bad shooting night.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna say he had the worst game in the world because before we went live, honestly, guys, I was saying like it was a bad game for him. But then, as more I look at the stats, I'm seeing that he actually dished out 8 assists. So he actually contributed in other areas. But offensively, ugh, 1 for 9 from the field. I don't know if I could defend that, you guys.
Look, if you're having an off game, personally, as much as I love you as a player and you contribute to our team, if you're not contributing, well, if you're not going to contribute in other ways, such as assists or rebounding the ball, then I don't see a point in playing you, because this was a big game for us tonight, and we didn't want to cost us a game. As much as I love D'Lo, I respect him as a player. He does a lot for our team. Tonight was just not his night, and I mean, I guess he could have played like a few more minutes to see if he could get out of the funk, but I don't think we could have costed those minutes. Honestly, I'm still trying to figure out Ham's rotations. I'm trying to figure out what he's attempting to do by putting these players out at certain times, but I don't know. Personally, I feel like he made a smart move by sitting out D'Lo. Again, like I don't think he would have done much tonight for us, but anything could have happened. I mean, he could have given it a shot, but at the same time, I personally think he made the right move by benching him for the rest of the game. I mean, everyone has their off games. It doesn't mean that they're a bad player. It just means hopefully they learn from their mistake and they show up the next game. They're ready to go.
Yeah, and I mean, anything can happen. Obviously, pending the Memphis series, see where things go. I mean, he could bounce back. Hopefully you ideally want players to get out of their funk, and you want them to get it going when it's money time, as they say in the league. But look, obviously I still got to give credit where credit's due, though. The Timberwolves, man, they really played their hearts out tonight. Obviously due to their nature of what they dealing with, no Gobert, stupid, just stupid choices, I should say, on handling injuries and just making poor chemistry decisions. Obviously, the game could have been a lot different as well. Game could have been different in both ways.
Imagine
but
how it would have.
Yeah, I mean, ideally,
Can you imagine how the game would have went if Go was playing? Gosh.
Oh my God, I know. Literally, like at this point, I would have been so shocked. I mean, Medina, you got some fans in the house here. But
hey,
I mean,
Andrea, I was watching the game with her on the phone. She heard my craziness. Shout out to Andrea for dealing with my Laker craziness.
They all coming for you,
there
Medina.
You go. Hey, everybody's coming. Why not, right? But honestly, guys, it's a lot to look forward to. Lakers being in it, Minnesota gets another chance. Now, I mean, shifting gears for the Timberwolves, do you guys think they actually get in? Do you think they can get that 8th spot?
I think they can. And the reason why I say that is because the Pelicans are going to be shorthanded without Zion. And the Thunder, I mean, hats off to the Oklahoma City Thunder. I did not think they were even going to get it at the 10th seed. And they actually did. But the thing is, I just find they're really inexperienced. I think the Timberwolves are going to get that 8th seed, but Denver is probably going to sweep them in the first round.
Man, if T-Wolves played the way they played against the Lakers tonight, easily they're beating the Pelicans on Friday. Easily. And that's what Gobert coming back to should.
I totally agree.
He changes so much. Gobert changes so much of the atmosphere for them. It's crazy. Like, just what he brings to them, what he brings to their team. And look, they're still going to be short-handed for one guy. They obviously didn't play some of their guys, Austin Rivers as well, and Moore Jr. But I mean, look, they're still a lethal threat, and obviously everyone saw what Towns can do and how dangerous he was. I mean, look, I think that's the coolest part about basketball is you could see all the stuff that happens. You could see situations that can happen. Obviously, you see how things go, and obviously, it's it can happen. Anything can happen in these play-in tournaments, and anything can happen. You never know. You never know what There's going to be a game potentially Friday, and it's obviously, or there is going to be a game Friday, but it's kind of all up in the air, really, and it's going to be very interesting because tomorrow we have another game, and obviously that's going to be a good one as well. Bulls and the Raptors, Thunders, Pelicans. That's going to be Bulls game, and Raptors game is obviously the early game. That's at 4:00. And the Thunder and the Pelicans are going to be at 6:30, all West Coast times. Definitely going to tune in for us. Tune in. There'll be a pregame show starting at 3:30 and take you all the way up to the game time of those two games. We'll give you a rundown, give you notes, and tell you all about those games. But guys, final thoughts on tonight's two games. What an exciting game. Both exciting games. Great games. Obviously ugly in the Lakers' perspective on turnovers, and I think obviously on the Timberwolves side of turnovers too, I think they both pretty much shared within the same turnover ratios. But obviously, guys, final thoughts on these games and looking ahead.
Basically, my final thoughts is both teams played amazing, like all four of them. Even the ones that lost, like even though like you want to say like Atlanta blew out Miami, I thought Miami played pretty well. So like I gotta give hats off to the Miami Heat. I think they'll advance as the 8th seed. Personally, both teams that lost, I think they'll advance as the 8th seed. But obviously, let's go Lakers. I'm happy we won. It was a nail biter. It was really, really stressful. I'm happy we won. And Atlanta, I'm happy to see that Trae Young won as well. And I can't wait for the next games. I can't wait to see Chicago and Toronto, and I can't wait to see OKC and New Orleans. It's going to be a really, really interesting Wednesday night.
Go ahead, Medina.
A shout out to my girl Alma here too. Let's go Lakers. But yeah, my final thoughts. To piggyback off of what Manny just said, I agree completely. I feel like both teams that lost tonight, they deserve to make it to the 8th seed. They both played wonderful. As much as T-Wolves made us work for it tonight, I think they're deserving of a playoff spot. Like, they have one heck of a team. But thank God our Lakers won. Thank God the Hawks won. I know we were rooting for them too. I'm looking forward to the games tomorrow. I'm looking forward to the play-in games on Friday. And I'm looking forward to Sunday, our first playoff game. Let's go.
That's going to be exciting.
We're coming from Memphis.
And looking forward to more podcast shows with my fam here.
Of course.
Hey, the best fam in the world. But, guys, we're going to do this all tomorrow.
Damn right.
You guys ready? Tomorrow,
We're ready.
man.
Damn right, we're ready.
We're ready, guys. That's going to do it for us for the NBA Play-In Tournament post-game show. Catch us tomorrow. Pre-game show, 3:30. See you guys tomorrow. Take care, guys.
Peace.